At the community meeting, angry Karen pushed past my 5-year-old Lily's wheelchair. When my daughter fell, Karen actually sat on her back to reach a paper. I heard the snap of Lily's spine. "Move, kid," Karen snapped. She had no idea I was assistant commissioner, and her life was about to change forever. Before watching full video, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more Karen stories. The monthly HOA meeting was running late. They always did when Patricia Winters was in charge. Most people called her Karen behind her back, and for good reason. She had the haircut, the attitude, and the endless list of complaints about everyone else in Sunny Pines community. "Excuse me, we need to sit," I said quietly, trying to maneuver Lily's wheelchair to the designated accessible area. Patricia didn't even look up from her papers. "The meeting's already started. You should have come earlier." "We were at physical therapy," I explained, keeping my voice calm for Lily's sake. My daughter was born with brittle bone disease. Her bones could break from the slightest pressure. That's why I was so careful with her wheelchair. "Not my problem," Patricia muttered, but people were watching now. With an annoyed sigh, she pointed to a spot near the wall. "Fine. Park over there. And be quiet." I nodded thanks and wheeled Lily to the spot. My sweet daughter smiled at everyone. Even at 5, she tried so hard to be brave. After 37 broken bones in her short life, she had learned to live with pain most adults couldn't imagine. "Daddy, I'm thirsty," Lily whispered as I sat beside her. I reached into her bag for her water bottle, but it wasn't there. I must have left it in the car. "I'll get it for you, princess. Just 1 minute, okay?" I said, gently squeezing her tiny hand. I stood up and whispered to Mrs. Chin next to us, "Could you watch Lily for just 1 minute while I grab her water from the car?" The kind old woman nodded with a smile. "Of course, go ahead." I stepped out quickly, hurrying to the parking lot. It took less than 2 minutes to retrieve the water bottle from our car. But when I returned, I heard a sound that still haunts my nightmares. Lily was screaming. I dropped the water bottle and ran into the meeting room. Everyone was standing, forming a circle around something on the floor. When they saw me, they moved aside. There was my daughter, lying face down on the floor beside her tipped-over wheelchair. And Patricia, Karen, was sitting on her back, reaching across the table for a stack of papers. "Lily!" I shouted, pushing past people to reach her. Patricia turned, annoyed. She was in the way. I told her to move her chair. "Get off her!" I screamed, my hands shaking as I pushed Patricia roughly away from my daughter's tiny body. That's when I heard it. The sound no parent of a child with brittle bone disease ever wants to hear. Crack. Clear as day. Lily had stopped screaming. That was even worse. "Call 911. I yelled, dropping to my knees beside my daughter. "Don't move her. She has brittle bone disease." Mrs. Chun was already on her phone, frantically giving details to the emergency operator. I got down on the floor beside Lily's face. Her eyes were open, filled with tears. "Daddy," she whispered. "I can't feel my legs." My heart shattered into a million pieces. Patricia stood nearby, brushing off her expensive pants. I barely touched her. "She's so dramatic." I ignored her, focusing only on my daughter. "Help is coming, princess. Stay very still, okay?" "What's brittle bone disease?" I heard Patricia ask someone. "Is that even real?" I wanted to scream at her, but Lily needed me calm. I held my daughter's small hand and spoke softly until the paramedics arrived. One of the EMTs recognized me immediately. "Commissioner Taylor? Is this your daughter?" I nodded, unable to speak through my tears. As they carefully secured Lily to a backboard, making sure not to cause any more damage, I heard the whispers start. "He's the assistant commissioner? For the whole county? Oversees all disability services." Patricia's face had gone white. The doctors confirmed my worst fears. Lily's T4 vertebra was fractured. She would need emergency surgery, months of rehabilitation, and might never walk normally again. "I'm so sorry, Commissioner Taylor," Dr. Rivera said. "We'll do everything we can." As they prepared Lily for surgery, I stepped out to make a call. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the phone. "Commissioner Stevens? James Taylor here. I need to take emergency leave." My boss, County Commissioner Stevens, had known Lily since she was a baby. "What happened, James?" I told him everything, my voice breaking several times. There was a long silence on the other end. Then, "Take all the time you need. And James? Use every resource at your disposal. Every single one." I knew what he meant. In my position as Assistant Commissioner of Health and Human Services, I oversaw all county disability services, including enforcement of accessibility laws, discrimination cases, and protection of vulnerable citizens. After hanging up, I made one more call, to my old law school roommate, now the district attorney. 3 days later, while Lily was recovering from her surgery, Patricia Winters strutted into the hospital room without knocking. "This is ridiculous," she announced, waving a paper. "I've been suspended from the HOA board pending an investigation? And now there's talk about criminal charges?" I stood slowly from my chair beside Lily's bed. My daughter was asleep, her small body wrapped in a brace, tubes and wires everywhere. "Lower your voice," I said quietly. "My daughter is resting." "This is all a big misunderstanding," Patricia continued, though a bit quieter. "I need you to drop whatever complaints you've filed." I looked at her for a long moment. "Mrs. Winters, do you know what I do for a living?" She blinked. "You're some kind of government worker, right?" "I'm the Assistant Commissioner of Health and Human Services for this county. My specific area of oversight includes enforcement of disability protections, ADA compliance, and prevention of discrimination against vulnerable populations." Her face paled slightly. "My daughter has osteogenesis imperfecta, brittle bone disease. It's a condition I explained to you and the HOA board when we moved in 8 months ago. It's why we requested and received permission for the ramp at our home. It's why Lily uses a specialized wheelchair." I didn't remember," she stammered. "You didn't care," I corrected. "And now my 5-year-old daughter might never walk again because you couldn't be bothered to show basic human decency." "It was an accident," she protested. "An accident is when something unforeseeable happens. This was negligence. You were told about her condition. You were asked to be careful. You chose to sit on a disabled child to reach some papers rather than walk 3 steps around the table." Patricia's eyes darted to the door. "Look, I'm sorry if she got hurt. But you're blowing this out of proportion. Let's be reasonable." "Reasonable?" I repeated, my voice deadly calm. "Mrs. Winters, you have no idea what's coming your way. I've devoted my career to protecting people like my daughter from people like you. And I am very, very good at my job." The wheels of justice turned quickly for once. Within a week, Patricia faced criminal charges for negligent assault on a vulnerable individual. The county prosecutor, my friend from law school, personally handled the case. The civil lawsuit came next. Not just against Patricia, but against the HOA that had allowed her to harass disabled residents despite multiple complaints. Security footage from the community center showed everything. Patricia pushing past Lily's wheelchair. The wheelchair tipping. Patricia actually sitting on my daughter's back to reach across the table. The moment when Lily's spine broke. When it played in court, several jurors cried. Patricia's expensive lawyer tried to paint her as a dedicated community volunteer who made an innocent mistake. But then came the witnesses. Mrs. Chin described how Patricia had mocked Lily's special princess chair at previous meetings. Mr. Gonzalez, who used a hearing aid, testified about Patricia's habit of covering her mouth when speaking to him, making it impossible for him to read her lips. The former HOA secretary provided emails showing Patricia had been warned about her treatment of disabled residents multiple times. Through it all, I sat in the front row, calm and professional. Every day after court, I would return to the rehabilitation facility where Lily was learning to use her body again. "Did you get the bad lady, Daddy?" she would ask. "Justice is coming, Princess," I would promise. And it did. The criminal trial ended with Patricia convicted on all counts. No jail time but 5 years probation and 2,000 hours of community service, specifically working with disabled children. The civil case was even more devastating for her. The jury awarded Lily $2.5 million in damages. Patricia would have to sell her house to pay. But the most satisfying moment came during the HOA's emergency board meeting. The community center was packed. Every homeowner in Sunny Pines wanted to witness Patricia's final downfall. "This special meeting of the Sunny Pines Homeowners Association will come to order," announced the vice president, who had taken over after Patricia's suspension. I sat in the back, not wanting to make Lily sit through what might be a contentious meeting. She was home with a nurse, watching her favorite cartoons. "Our first order of business is to formally remove Patricia Winters from the board," the vice president continued. "According to our bylaws, a board member who has been convicted of a crime may be removed by a simple majority vote." Patricia, sitting alone at the front, turned to face the crowd. "Before you vote, I'd like to say something." The room fell silent. I prepared myself for excuses, for blame shifting. "I was wrong," she said simply. "I've had a lot of time to think since the incident. The things I did, the way I treated people, especially Mr. Taylor's daughter. Her voice broke. There's no excuse. I caused harm to a child because I was in a hurry and thought my convenience mattered more than her safety. I stared at her, shocked by what seemed like genuine remorse. I deserve whatever punishment comes my way, she continued. I've already listed my house for sale to pay the settlement. But before I leave this community, I wanted to propose something. She pulled out a folder. I've drafted a new accessibility plan for Sunny Pines. It includes improved ramps at the pool and community center, simplified processes for approval of medical accommodations, and a committee of residents with disabilities to review all future HOA decisions. The room was absolutely silent. I worked with disability advocates to create it. It's not enough to make up for what I did, but maybe it can prevent someone else from being hurt. After the meeting, as people filed out, Patricia approached me cautiously. Commissioner Taylor, I know you have every reason to hate me. But I want you to know that your daughter's courage has changed me. The way she looks at the world despite everything she's been through. Save it, I said, not yet ready to forgive. Actions matter more than words. She nodded. That's fair. Would you consider looking over the accessibility plan? If there's anything I missed, anything that could make it better. I took the folder. I'll review it. Thank you. And please tell Lily. She struggled for words. Tell her I'm sorry. Really, truly sorry. 6 months later, Lily returned to school. Her wheelchair was different now, bigger with more supports for her back. The doctors weren't sure if she would ever walk unassisted again, but she was alive, her mind sharp as ever, her spirit unbroken. I had taken a new position within the county government, heading a newly created Office of Disability Affairs. The experience with Lily had shown me gaps in our system that needed fixing. One afternoon, as I picked Lily up from school, she pointed excitedly across the playground. Daddy, look. It's the lady. I turned to see Patricia Winters helping a boy in a wheelchair navigate a new ramp. Part of her community service involved assisting at the school's program for children with physical disabilities. When she saw us, she froze, clearly uncertain whether to approach. Lily waved. After a moment's hesitation, Patricia waved back. She's not so mean anymore, Lily observed. Miss Carson says she reads to the kindergarten class every day. I knelt beside my daughter's wheelchair. Do you want to go say hello? Lily thought about it. Not today, Daddy. Maybe next time. As we drove home, past the new accessible playground equipment that had been part of Patricia's plan for the community, Lily said something that stunned me. Daddy, I think the sad lady is trying to fix her broken parts just like me. Out of the mouths of babes. Today marks 1 year since the accident. Lily is doing better than anyone expected. She can stand for short periods and take a few steps with braces. Her doctors are cautiously optimistic. The Sunny Pines community has transformed. Under new leadership, including me as the accessibility advisor, the HOA has become a model for inclusive community design. 3 more families with disabled children have moved in, drawn by the reputation for accessibility and acceptance. Patricia Winters sold her house as promised but didn't move far. She lives in a small apartment now and works full-time at the county's Disability Resource Center, not as community service anymore but as a paid advocate. She's studying for a degree in social work in the evenings. Last week she came to our door with a small gift for Lily, a book about a girl superhero who uses a wheelchair. May I come in? She asked hesitantly. I stepped aside to let her enter. Lily looked up from her drawing and smiled. Hi, Miss Patricia. Do you want to see my new brace? It has butterflies on it. As Patricia admired the brace, I watched the woman who had once broken my daughter's body now helping to heal her spirit. Sometimes justice comes not just from punishment, but from transformation. As assistant commissioner, I could have destroyed Patricia completely. I had the power, the connections, the motivation. For a while, that was exactly what I wanted to do. But Lily showed me a different kind of power, the power of watching someone confront their own cruelty and change because of it. Daddy says you're helping other kids now, Lily said to Patricia. Patricia nodded, tears in her eyes. I am. And do you know who my best teacher is? Who? You, Lily. You taught me the most important lesson. Lily giggled. But I'm just a kid. Sometimes, I said, joining their conversation, kids are the best teachers. Especially brave ones like you. As Patricia left that evening, she paused at the door. Commissioner Taylor, thank you. For what? I showed you no mercy. For not standing in the way of my redemption, she said simply. You had every reason to, but you didn't. I thought about that long after she left. About justice and mercy. About revenge and redemption. My daughter's spine was healing stronger at the break point. Perhaps the same could be true for our community. That night, as I tucked Lily into bed, she asked me a question that pierced my heart. "Daddy, are you still mad at Miss Patricia?" I considered lying, but Lily deserved the truth. "Sometimes when I see how hard things are for you now, yes." She nodded thoughtfully. "I was mad too. But my heart was getting too heavy carrying it around." "When did you get so wise?" I asked, smoothing her hair. She smiled. "Must be all those broken bones. The doctor says they grow back stronger where they break." Out of all the revenge I could have taken, all the punishment I could have demanded, nothing compared to this. Watching my daughter rise above her pain to find compassion, and in doing so, teaching her father to do the same. That is the greatest justice of all.